Howdy, folks. I'm Jeff.
And I'm John.
And we are the J&J Show, and we're on the road.
We're all the way out here in the woods in Albuquerque, New Mexico, just north of that fine city.
The woods.
There's some trees out there right before the mountains.
I just see the mountain.
Okay, you look over the trees?
So we're out here at ETI, Equipment and Tool Institute, and we've got right here with us
Frank Laviola from AirPro Diagnostics.
And so diagnostic, that means y'all make some diagnostic tools.
We have a diagnostic tool, a couple of them. We have one called the AirPro Scan Tool, and then we have one for the windshields, and that's called Augie.
That's the one you were telling me about last night, and I was like so impressed, and you said you can't keep that one in stock.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been back with AirPro. I worked for AirPro previously for a couple of years. Just came back in January, and the demand is definitely there for this product. And we'll see where it goes, but we've got a lot of demand.
And so this ETI is Equipment and Tool Institute, and you guys are one of the tool manufacturers. So why do you come out here? What's the reason to be a member of ETI?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I guess just for, I generally have been on the collision side. This is my second time at ETI. Chuck Olson represents us at ETI. He's here as well. Said, hey, he's right there. There's Chuck.
He didn't want to get on camera.
He's the smart one, right? I'm more of the sales guy, so I'm smart on sales, and we have a lot of hecklers over there, just so you know. But
Scott Brown,
right? Yeah, Scott Brown. Yeah, so I think, it's really good for us to be here because we get one-on-one meetings with OEs. So anytime you can talk to the manufacturers, we're using a lot of their software. There's other companies here that we can have relationships with on a business level, whether it's, using some of their products, talking about some different customers things. I don't want to get too much into all this, but there's a lot of folks that need us, we need them, and we work really well together.
And so when you talk about the manufacturers, there's actually was 9 OEs here, and 6 of them was up on the stage this morning and talking about their information and what they really want to share it with the aftermarket. But right now they have a new deal called affiliate members, which is what John and myself would be. They're trying to bring in more shop owners. So what is the value of a shop owner coming out here?
Yeah, good question, right? So when I look at this what's going on with ETI, I think historically what we've seen is this is, on the service side of the engine and things like that. And I think when we think about ADAS and everything coming out, collision industry really needs to kind of embrace what's going on here. There's going to be so many changes in how we repair cars, the computers and everything else that are in these cars. It's changing how we repair them. So even for a collision repair shop to come out here and learn about what's going on is really helpful. Some of the presentations today, besides the panel, we were talking about AI, right? AI to fix a car when it breaks down is the same as AI to fix a car when it's been in a collision. So there's a lot of synergies between what's going on in collision and then, engine type of repair.
And we've been talking about the mechanical shops and the collision shops coming more together because you're from the collision industry. The collision industry always sees those vehicles before we do.
Right.
Because most of the time it's like we kind of get out of warranty before we see it. But the collision shop, they can take it off the lot and drive around the corner and have a wreck.
Yeah.
And the collision shops need that information more, which is one of the top reasons I think that this is such a great deal for the tool manufacturers to be here with the OEs.
I agree. I think the other part of this is if you think about collision, right, back in the old days it was pound out some dents, put some filler in that. Well, things are more complex. And it's more complex in a time where customer satisfaction and just how customers react. And you think about the length of rental. I had mentioned I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for years. Length of rental really is a key barometer of customer satisfaction. The longer a customer's in a car, the more the satisfaction goes down. So you really want to hit your promised target and make it there. If I have to take that car and bring it to a repair shop, it's going to cost me a couple days. But if I can use an AirPro Diagnostics scanner and do the calibrations, the pre-scan, the pro-scan, module reprogramming, things like that in-house, So that's where these body shops start going, okay, I can do some of this mechanical because I can use AirPro to remotely do it. It's a win for everybody.
And there's a couple of things that you're talking about there. The number one issue with ADOS is it takes up a ton of space.
Yeah.
And so you're calling it
Augie first.
which actually is like a mini ADOS targets, but it's hooked to the windshield right where the camera comes out. So it's kind of like, okay, this is what we're going to let you see instead of we want you to see this.
Yeah. So if you think about a glass company, right, for years, and even now, glass companies go out and they change a windshield out. And what they're doing today is they're saying, okay, now that I've changed your windshield out, you've either got to go to a dealership or come to one of our locations where we do calibrations, and then we'll take care of you. Again, going back to that customer satisfaction. So great that you came out to my house and you replaced that windshield, but now you're going to make me schedule, time out of my day, my job, to come to a repair shop to have a calibration done. So we've invented Augie. You can look it up online and see, and it's a really exciting exciting product, thank you. And what it does is it sits on the windshield. We've miniaturized and digitized the targets, working with our folks who are our ASE certified technicians. We can go ahead and do the calibrations with Augie. Again, for that collision repair shop or a glass shop in this case, we've got the expertise. They plug it in, we do it. It's a win. And the customer, again, wins.
This sounds so cool. All I'm hearing him say is money, 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 profit, profit, profit. And I'm thinking, cha-ching, baby, I'm loving this.
So when you talk about you do it, it's because y'all's product you can do remote.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have an A-Tech in the shop to do this job. You just connect your tool and call the number, and you were telling us yesterday, was it about within 20 minutes?
We actually have a 10-minute response pledge.
10 minutes.
We'll be on within 10 minutes to start the process. And I should mention, you can use other tools besides our own tool with Augie. So that was one of the things, always listening to your customers. Some customers have a different tool. They may not want to have multiple tools. If they have a different tool, and I won't mention names because there's different tools out there, but there's a lot of tools, folks who are at this meeting, that we can use their tool along with the Augie. So if there's someone in a collision repair shop or a glass shop that's comfortable with their tool, they can still use that tool. We train them how to set up the Augie, and they can use it right there. They
The
don't have to
Augie
use it.
complements the program.
Absolutely.
How awesome.
Absolutely. And I think the main thing that I always think about out of this is, just as a consumer, we're all consumers. We all have families. My wife doesn't want to have to be inconvenienced. I'm busy. You guys are busy. We're traveling throughout the country. We don't want to be inconvenienced. Neither does the consumer who's out there. So how can we do things to make things better, faster for the consumer? And that's a win.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's, yep.
So what do you see the value of shops being affiliate members with ETI?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what I said about the collision stuff, right? So here you guys are as affiliate members putting information out, which is fantastic because, I was a board member on Sika for years, and I remember Sika, I always felt we were the best kept secret. And, I think ETI is a pretty well-kept secret. The OEs know about it. A lot of the tool manufacturers know about it. But let's get that information out to the repair shops.
And then when they come, they can talk with guys like you. You can tell them about Augie, but then also they can express their concerns or their needs. They go, oh, yeah, okay, well, like you said, they might have a tool that they like, or they might say, hey, well, I don't have a tech that can do it. What's it going to cost to train them? And you're like, oh, we got those remote.
Well, I think that's a great point. I think the other part of that for the affiliate members is, again, what did you say, 9 OEs were here? I remember I thought there were 7 on stage, but 9 OEs are here that you can set up meetings with to meet with these folks. And, you get more people in a room, there's a lot of great ideas that come out of this.
Yes.
So how do we get these folks to come with, their challenges? Because anytime there's a problem, there's a solution. And if you could voice your problem or voice a solution to the OEs, they're here to listen. I mean, everything I heard was a group of manufacturers, both in the one-on-one meetings as well as the panel on stage, they listened. And they had great input.
And you guys are listening with the tool manufacturers because we've had several networking opportunities and talking to these guys and saying, hey, we need this, and they're like, oh, my tool will do that. Oh, we got a tool. You were telling us last night about this Augie deal, and we were like,
yeah.
And the
Wow, it
price,
just blowed me away. I was excited about it.
and the price was like real affordable.
It is. I think, tools cost money for shops. Different people have different programs with finance options and all that, but let's keep things that are cost effective so people can use them to fix the cars, because we know that price is a concern, especially in this economy. Want to make things as affordable as possible.
Price and, like you said, convenience.
And service.
Yeah.
Which is that convenience.
That's right.
That's some really great information you just gave us, Frank. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm all about making profit.
Yeah.
And if we can get the independents here to see what you got and what the rest of these people got, I can see the independents put more cha-ching in their pocket.
Yeah.
This has been great.
And the difference between this and all the other trade shows, because you guys go around a lot of trade shows, and it's
We do.
mostly collision ones.
It's mostly collision. Yeah.
And so-
CIC is what he said.
yeah.
But
And
SEMA, we stick to the collision side at SEMA, but I think, look, we're growing. Augie is for glass companies, right? So that's for glass companies. That's a little bit outside of that. But we'll grow. We'll find different niches, just like everyone does at these things, and let's see where we fit.
But see, when you're saying glass companies, I see it also as going into mechanical, because we're having to take the front bumpers, we're having to take replace the mirrors on the side.
The grills, the radiators.
Those have cameras there. A lot of them have the grills. Just doing an AC job, we may have to pull off the front end. And now we've moved that camera in the front. And if we can do a deal like Augie where it hooks on.
Well, the AirPro scan tool device would be the one to use for that.
Yeah.
And we have that available.
But the big difference between all these other trade shows that you go to is everybody's walking by and all the competition is there, and they're like, okay, here's our tool, here's our tool. This you can come to and talk to and find out exactly how it works, exactly what the problems that it's solving.
Yep.
And if they say, hey, we have this issue, the OEs are here too, and you're like, okay, if this tool doesn't get it, you have access to the white pages, to the information, where your engineers and stuff can adjust the tool.
Definitely.
And Chuck. Don't forget Chuck's here.
We use Chuck. Again, Chuck's the brains of the operation on the tech side for sure. And he's standing right out there, so that's what I'm saying. Chuck?
So we appreciate you taking time to stop and visit with us, and you've been in and out of the meetings, because we've been seeing you go this way and that way.
Yeah.
And,
Running all over the place.
We've been all over today. Yeah, it's very good.
and this goes on tomorrow too.
Well, great. Looking forward to another day.
Yeah, and tomorrow we get to speak on
We
stage.
get to be up on stage and you get to ask us questions
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So we get to heckle you guys a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
so
gonna
don't
be
bring
good.
no tomatoes. We don't need none of that.
That's good. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know our company, AirPro, appreciates you having us on and being here, and love your guys' show.
As always, we appreciate you watching.